Nigahiga hasn't uploaded
Bro, he actually...
a video since April 2020, so we're going to provide a full-length explanation for his disappearance, which can only be understood if you first realize that the channel included another person by the name of Sean Fujiyoshi. Sean was there for all of the channel's most...
I guess his name, but I don't think I've ever heard in the recent times people that actually said his old username. People just don't say it. People just say his new username.
Notable early content, namely how to be emo, how to be gangster, and how to be ninja, with these three videos acting as a foundation for Nigahiga to become YouTube's most subscribed channel for 677 days between August 2009 and June 2011. Although this would also be the point at which Ryan showed early signs that the channel might not last forever, coming specifically during his celebration of 5 million subscribers. Ryan stated that producing each skit was significantly more difficult than his audience might realize, which was followed by him comedically showing his production company, which featured him as the writer, filmer, magician, and editor, perhaps implying that he was overwhelmed by the workload. To fix this problem, Ryan created the Ryan Higa Production Company, or the RHPC for short, which on top of Sean introduced another 5 people to help out with the channel. However, while this reduced the workload per person, it increased the scale and complexity of the business, which wasn't the only thing making Ryan's life difficult. At a later date, Ryan explained that he'd hit a point where he was too famous to live a normal life.
With that amount of people watching, there's always bound to be some sick people. Like once in my home in Hawaii, people came and spray painted tihi on my parents' house while we were in it. That's the scary part. People tried to come up to my other house and they tried to come to my windows and take pictures of us through the windows. Stuff like that, it makes you think a lot. You do have to live with it.
Which will be the first example of many to come, where Ryan would express the downside of being a famous YouTuber. Despite this, he and his team continue to pump out skits for the channel, although Ryan made it obvious that he already thought his best days were in the past.
Okay, let me explain it. Okay, people won't understand this, okay? Because this is 2 parts, right? This is early YouTube, and this is early like social media where people make a lot of money, right? And unfortunately, these guys, they were like slightly too early. They were really early, right? So they were making money, but they were not making good money compared to like what people do these days, especially like YouTube and Twitch or whatever. So like all the things that fame comes with, you also get money for it, right? In recent times, so you can kind of like buy yourself out of these problems, like getting gated community house, security, all this shit. But at the time, the problem with these guys is they were so early that they got all the fame, whatever, but not the money that comes with it. So I don't think a lot of them were able to afford or justify spending that much on security and doing all the measures, which really suck. It's like a really unlucky timing.
For example, in May 2017, he'd upload a video titled Life of a YouTuber, in which Ryan outlined the different stages that every creator goes through, with stage 5 implying that he was no longer enjoying making the videos. Ryan would go on to explain that the final stage in a YouTuber's career was to write a book, and the point of the video in the first place was to announce that he'd written a book.
Writing a book is a very important stage in a YouTuber's career. It means that I am in one of the final stages of my YouTube career.
However, while these hints seemed to imply that Ryan was about to retire from YouTube, the uploads didn't slow down and continued full steam ahead for well over a year. That would be until the 2nd of September 2008.
Nah, you're not gonna get a book out of me. You're gonna get a fucking Netflix series, bro. I'm telling you, dude.
When Nigahiga uploaded a video simply titled Goodbye Sean. As suggested by the title, Sean announced that he was leaving RHPC as he landed a job in the engineering sector and was moving to a different state altogether.
I'll be moving to California with my girlfriend, and yeah, this might be it.
And while many of the comments implied that this would have a major impact on the channel's future, nobody could have predicted the impact that it would have on Ryan himself. Sean's departure seemed to suggest to Ryan that perhaps it was time to move away from these silly YouTube skits and pursue something a little more age appropriate. His childhood friend, who was a year younger than him, was making big life changes, while Ryan was stuck doing the exact same thing that he had been for the last 10 years.
I did the same thing every day for years. If you do it for a while, you kind of get to the same place, I think.
At a minimum, it seemed to suggest to Ryan that there was better opportunities outside of YouTube, because as highlighted by this comment, the channel was never the same since Sean left.
No shit,
Only 6 videos after Sean announced that he was leaving, Ryan would upload a new video titled If I Quit YouTube, in which he'd begin by stating that he was bored of making videos.
Over the past year, I really have been considering quitting YouTube. It's not that I don't want to do YouTube, but I just wasn't having fun making YouTube videos anymore.
And as a result, he planned on switching up the content.
there's gonna be changes on this channel. And I know that a lot of you praise me and respect me for not changing my content over the years, but this is something I have to do for myself.
Ryan expanded on this in a later live stream, during which he implied that he was no longer challenged by the skits he was making.
There's nothing that I really feel like, oh, this is gonna be different if I do it. It would have to be something more challenging.
Before going on to state that he had even grown tired with the sound of his own.
Bro, you guys tag me in every video, everything we've watched in the past. Bro, we could watch a video about some fucking serial killer and shit, and you will still tag me and shit like, shut up, man.
Voice.
Watching yourself over and over and over and listening to yourself, it actually used to make me mad. It's a weird thing to understand until you do it over and over and over. But I would literally be like, in my head, I'd be like, shut up, dude, shut up! Because you hear and see the same shit over and over and over. It was like frustrating because I would self-critique too much.
Having lost the love for his original type of content, Ryan made a quick migration to a podcasting series named Off the Pill, stating that the series was the only alternative to quitting altogether.
In the podcast, everyone said don't put it on your channel, but I was just like so over it at that point. Make what I want to make, or essentially quit.
In a different video, Ryan promised to continue uploading skits in between each podcast episode, and while he would abide by this promise in the beginning, the podcast eventually became the dominant type of content on the channel, presumably because it was significantly easier to make. In late 2019, Nigahiga uploaded 13 podcasts in a row without any other type of video, prompting an upload titled Why I Haven't Been Posting, in which he'd explained that his original type of content no longer suited the current YouTube meta.
I don't even know when exactly it started to happen, but I was getting a little frustrated with YouTube and getting really just bitter, I guess, with what YouTube had become.
Ryan then added in a live stream that he was almost never
Not wrong. If you were in the business of doing skits, pranks, anything, like that, the landscape completely shifted entirely. And if the new audience and new commenters and new people just made it so fucking bitter, I would have quit too, to be honest. Fuck that shit.
happy while making skits.
I would
You
have
say
quit.
you're happy about your life. I can't say that the whole time during my YouTube career I was, even in its peak, and that's probably when people thought I was the happiest.
Adding in an Anthony Padilla interview that he was always
Yeah, don't get
burnt
it.
out.
How have you prevented yourself from feeling...
Something super important. Something super important to remember is that something that you guys say, but what about these guys? They make skits. What about? It's not about that. When you've seen the grass being green, you definitely see the grass being different. And making that switch in mindset is incredibly difficult, okay? Because you've seen the best, and now you see that it's always dog shit and it will never get better. If people that come in, when it's dog shit, they've never seen it being green. They accept the current landscape as what it is, right? And then this is fine, because that is the landscape. So they don't get jaded by the new landscape because they've never seen the old one. Right? That's why these guys all quitted, because everything changed so much that what they did every day became unrecognizable. So why bother?
YouTube burnout?
I didn't. I'll admit that I was burnt out for like years.
Before implying on more than one occasion that becoming successful did almost nothing for his own personal fulfillment.
Finding fame and money doesn't bring happiness at all. But you don't really know until you really go through it.
Ryan then made it obvious that, as someone who made everybody laugh at the expense of his own mental health, he related to the life of Robin Williams.
The Robin Williams incident where like you can be the funniest, most respected, famous, loved, and no one knows what you're going through. So how was his...
So you say, give me money then, Kappa. You say Kappa all the time. I don't think you understand, dude. It's kind of trash though. Especially in positions where like everybody around you cares about money and you just care about passion. And it's like you get something that you don't care about, and everybody else except for you cares about what you have and more than how much you care. That's just fucking annoying. That's fucking. I don't know how fucking doggy that is. It's
life.
cringe.
Better than the guy who's working a 9-to-5 right now and is still has a family. That's a better life.
Before adding that becoming so successful in his 20s might have been a negative, as he didn't know what else to look forward to.
Damn, if this is my goal and I reach this goal and I'm still unhappy, then what am I doing? Like, what else is there?
It was obvious that Ryan was feeling a little lost, which began to reflect in the madness of his video uploads, as his channel became a mix of skits, podcasts, and advertisements for his new energy drink.
Guys, I released my own energy drink. Isn't this crazy?
This persisted until the 41st episode of Off the Pill, at which point Ryan disappeared altogether, before returning 3 months later by uploading a video titled My Midlife Crisis.
So this is definitely the longest break I've ever taken from not posting videos on this channel in my entire YouTube career.
Ryan began the video by explaining that he was going through a breakup.
I don't usually talk about relationship stuff here on YouTube. I am no longer dating anyone. I'm not dating Mrs. Che anymore.
Before stating that he wanted to step back back and figure out exactly what to do with his life.
The real reason why I had to take this break was because I needed to reflect on my own life. I'm freaking old, man. I mean, I just realized that I'm going to be 30.
Instead, Ryan uploaded one final video on the 25th of April 2020 before going silent. Over on Twitch, Ryan explained that the pandemic made it almost impossible to film anything for YouTube.
I can't film with the team. I was already burnt out of YouTube. We didn't know how long it was gonna last, the freaking lockdowns and stuff.
And as a result, he'd become a full-time streamer, which he enjoyed significantly more.
But by that time, I already started liking streaming. I haven't felt that from anything YouTube related in a long time. Years.
Ryan went on to explain that this was the ideal scenario, as it meant he got to choose when the channel came to an end.
The only time it really did end is when I chose to stop posting during COVID. We could have kept going, I didn't want to. And I think that's, to me, that was the best way to go out on my own terms versus like, oh, I can't do it, no one's watching.
And given his average viewership on Twitch of well over 1,000 people, his migration to the live streaming service might have been a good decision. Plus, this isn't to say that he isn't coming back.
Does that mean you're done with YouTube? Not necessarily. I mean, I still, like I said, there's been some days where I came really close to just like starting.
I think even mentioning his viewership is irrelevant. I think when you do something as passion as like an outlet, who gives a fuck like how it resonates? You do it for yourself, like.
To film again.
When asked, will you go back to YouTube, Ryan,
because he could post a video and make more views than whoever this guy makes the fucking video here. I don't think people get this. Like, he could post on the main channel and get more views than whatever this is getting or whatever. He just doesn't do it.
simply stated,
I don't know. I have had like more interest in doing creative stuff again.
Yet he'd need to take a significant break from Twitch in order to do so.
I would have to take a Twitch break.
I don't relate to him at all.
There's no way I could be doing this, keeping up.
I understand where it comes
Ryan
from. I just don't relate
to return. He'd need to find an idea that he felt extremely passionate about.
But it has to be something I really care about. I would have to enjoy doing everything by myself. You'd have to enjoy doing every process, and I don't enjoy doing all of it. I don't want to go and pull footage. You know, I've been through all that already.
And even then, he expressed concern about how any new video might perform given the channel's inactivity.
It would be lower because I've been so inactive. So based on the algorithm, the first video I upload would get more views. The second one would probably get less.
Although just a few days ago, Sean Fujiyoshi uploaded an image to his Twitter showing that the entire RHPC gang were having a reunion, so there could be some new content just around the corner.
On a corner. This guy always fucking sends it. Every video, dude. Even there's only like 5. It's insane, dude.
TTS 22 months.
Yo, this is X on the beat, yo. Okay. My voice as well. That is. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know. He's just so soy. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know. He's just so soy.